How much of a blow to La Liga is it that Cristiano Ronaldo has made that move to Italy?
Well, Cristiano Ronaldo made his big presence at Real Madrid for 9 years, and what he done for La Liga it was amazing. He won the Premiership with Manchester United, with Real Madrid. Everybody knows who he won everything, and well, I wish him luck in Juventus to do well. And yeah, it's a big blow for the Spanish league that Cristiano Ronaldo is not anymore there.
And is it just taking that edge off as well between that rivalry of Barcelona and Real Madrid? We all know about how intense El Clasico has been over the years, but it was always something special, wasn't it, when it was Messi against Ronaldo?
I totally agree with you. The battle between Messi and Ronaldo was always intense, but now that Ronaldo's off to Juventus, I think that he opens up a space for other players in Real Madrid to take his steps, because it's very important for Real Madrid to get to sign a strong player back in La Liga, to have a battle again with Messi, because now Messi, of course, you have Griezmann in Atletico Madrid. But I think that Real Madrid can sign a big player to join them.
Kylian Mbappe, of course, stole the nation's heart, not only in France, but indeed around the world with his performance. And it's interesting that you can almost relate to that success. You go back to, obviously, the '95 Champions League final. What do you make of this youngster and how he seems to deal with this pressure effortlessly?
Well, last year he played for AS Monaco, and he already showed that he's a young kid who has got a bright future. I think now in Paris Saint-Germain he's showing off his skills as well. And the World Cup was fantastic for him. I think Kylian Mbappe is a player that future Ballon d'Or for sure. But the most important thing, because I saw him also having some interviews, and he talks really adultly, and he's coming very good out of his words. And on the pitch, he's a player who can make every defense really shake.
Are we talking, when we talk about Mbappe, a future Ballon d'Or winner?
Yes, I think so. If he goes and play like this in the future, for sure he needs to make a lot of kilometers. But I think that he is capable to win the Ballon d'Or.
He, of course, one of the highlights of the World Cup. I think pretty much everyone agrees that it was a huge success in Russia. Did you enjoy it? And what was it like watching it without the Dutch there?
I enjoyed the World Cup. Of course, it's a little bit strange when you don't have Holland and Italy, of course, in a World Cup, because those countries, more or less, are always on a World Cup. So I had a little bit strange feeling, because I normally watch Holland play in the World Cup, and it's a pity for the players, but also for all the people in Holland that Holland wasn't in this World Cup. But from my point of view, is that in the qualification you had some surprises, but a World Cup, from my point of view, is starting from the quarterfinals, and I think that I saw quite good matches in the World Cup.
Well, Justin Kluivert was officially presented today as a Roma player, making that move for over $20 million from the Eredivisie to Serie A. And it's almost as if this show is planned, as we're delighted to be joined now from LA. His dad, Patrick Kluivert. Patrick, you're there representing La Liga as an ambassador ahead of the start of the season. Your son was linked to a number of clubs, Manchester United, Barcelona, eventually ending up in Roma. How much of a role did you have to play in that final decision?
Well, at the end it's the decision of Justin, of course, but he asked me, of course, information of what is the best thing to do. And then he chose for Rome, and I think that's a good decision. I think that Manchester United or Barcelona maybe is a step too early for him. But I think in Rome he can develop even more as a player, and I'm happy for him that he signed a 5-year contract with AS Roma.
Of course, the focus will be on him in a slightly different way than before when he was playing for Ajax. Obviously, he was always known as your son. Now he's known as a 19-year-old who cost $20 million. What sort of advice do you give him dealing with that sort of pressure?
Well, he can handle quite a lot of pressure, and I think that he needs to play as he knows how he needs to play, and just enjoy the new movement to Rome. And I think that everybody has got pressure, and it depends on how many pressure you can have and you can develop as a player. And I think that this will be a very good first year for him.
How are you like watching him play? Are you an angry dad? Are you a competitive dad? Are you a stressed dad? Are you calm? What are you like as a fan watching him out there on the pitch?
Well, of course, you're a little bit tense because you know what he feels in the stadium. But as I just mentioned, he's quite a calm boy. He knows what he's got to do, and he loves the pressure.
It's official then. Liverpool have a new goalkeeper. They took to Twitter to confirm that Allison made the switch from Roma to Anfield. They broke the bank in the process as well, didn't they? £65 million. Take a look at that in just a second. Most expensive signing behind Virgil van Dijk. Steve, you spoke at length about this yesterday. Craig, you take a look at the odds. Liverpool now second favourites, clearly behind Manchester City to win the Premier League. Is that fair?
Good business, yeah. I mean, depends what United do between now and the transfer.
As it stands, the squad that each have got?
I like the look of Liverpool. I still think they need a centre-half to go alongside Van Dijk, another centre-half. Because that still is a weak area for me, but no, great business. Stuart Robson made a good point before he departed from Chicago. That a couple of years ago, Allison was second to Chesney.
Yes.
So it's been a bit of a revival over the last couple of years, but he has been good.
Yeah. Do not underestimate the importance of having a goalkeeper that you can trust and how he makes you better, not only because he can make the saves, but because of the confidence of the guys playing in front of him. So I think that makes a huge difference for the way that Liverpool play defensively. However, I still trust that Manchester United, if they get the version of Paul Pogba that we saw in the World Cup, if we get that for Manchester United, I think Manchester United should be right behind Manchester City.
Really?
Yeah. I just think Manchester United and Jose Mourinho, whether we criticize him, dislike him, or not appreciate the way that he sets his teams up, in games in which he needs to get results, more times than not, he comes up with what he needs and what the team needs. Liverpool, I'm not so sure that they're going to be able to do that.
Plus, can Trent Alexander-Arnold keep pushing forward? He's a young player, had a great season, and can Andy Robertson keep that going? Because he superseded all expectations at left back. So there are a couple of anomalies there in those positions. Was that a sort of one-off for Robertson, or can he produce that again?
One-off for Salah.
Well, I don't think Mo Salah's doing that again.
Well, and so
100%. I'd be shocked. What was his? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think it's 700 goals he got last year.
no, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I might be wrong, and for Liverpool's sake, I hope I am. But I don't see him getting anywhere close to that. That was an anomaly, scoring that amount of goals.
Don't forget that Liverpool basically packed in, trying to get second in the league because of the Champions League. You know, plus you look at what they've added. That's why I think they'll finish ahead of Manchester United.
Well, the transfer rumours are heating up. Shaka Hissap here with me as we try to dissect a little merry-go-round we hear could possibly happen involving Donnarumma, Courtois and Alvaro Morata. Shaka, the first one, Courtois to Real Madrid. We heard what Courtois said after the World Cup, that he believes he did a world of good for his stock. So does this move make sense?
It does. And yes, Courtois did the world of good for his standing in the game. He's long been regarded as one of the best in world football. I think the World Cup enhanced that reputation and enhances his commerciality in many respects. He's also been unsettled at Stamford Bridge for the last couple of years. It was certainly last summer, it was a will he stay, won't he stay, and these continued links with Real Madrid continue to pop up. Real Madrid, frustrated in their pursuit of David De Gea, switched their attention to Thibaut Courtois, who of course knows Madrid well from his time at Atletico, so the move made sense. Given his age, given his talent, given his standing in the world game, yes, this ticks all the boxes for Real Madrid. Of course, there's still the small issue of Keylor Navas, and as I keep saying, and
you're a big fan
keep
of
reminding you, I am a big fan of Keylor Navas. I think Courtois is a better goalkeeper than Keylor Navas. That doesn't mean to say that Keylor Navas either doesn't have a future at Real Madrid or won't continue to prove himself to be one of the top goalkeepers in the world albeit somewhere else.
Well, with that said, because we're also hearing that it could be Donnarumma that's coming from Milan to Chelsea to fill that void that, of course, Courtois would be leaving. Now, we know that Donnarumma is highly rated as well, but you obviously favor Keylor Navas, but we're hearing Alvaro Morata could go the other way to Milan. So do you think this would be a sensible switcheroo?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense in terms of the swap. Donnarumma, his talent, his age. I think he needs a move away from AC Milan. As good as he's been, I just feel he may be one error from the fans turning against him again. Give him everything that's gone on over the last couple of seasons with his new contract, with his brother. I just feel there's a lot of history and a lot of backstory there that, again, it may have the fans, as fickle as they can be, turn against him rather quickly. And maybe he needs pastures anew. So it makes a whole lot of sense. And including Morata going the other way. Now, for me, Morata, and this is as nicely as I can put it, did not set the world alight at Stamford Bridge. And maybe Seri sees that he needs another option. He needs to make space for another striker to come in, and interest from Morata would inevitably perk his ears. Now, the question for AC Milan is, how much does this make sense? Now, they have a need for strikers themselves. Coltrone, 10 and 28 starts in the league. Andre Silva was and continues to be a huge disappointment. So decent, but not really getting the returns either. So there's a need for a striker. And as well as Morata did at Juventus, he was not the out-and-out striker. He was not the number one choice. Similarly at Real Madrid. And I continue to question whether that pressure at Chelsea was the difference between him turning in the kind of performances that we'd expected, given what we've seen from him at both Juventus and Real Madrid, and the disappointments that we've seen from him at Stamford Bridge. Now, that's the challenge for AC Milan. If they can get the best out of him, I think it's a wonderful deal. But I still think he has a lot of people to prove that he can handle that pressure.
All right. Well, we're under a little bit of pressure here with the Sun, so we're going to call it today from this one. But remember to stay track of everything going on in the transfer window right here at ESPN.